Alright, so after 15 years, headlights aren't what they used to be. You can tell this one's kind of nice and clear. This one, it's a whole different story. It's got some moisture in there too. Both of them are like that. So I went to Advance, got some headlight lens restoration. I gotta take them apart though and get that moisture out and to do the insides because I'm gonna do both sides. So, show you how to get these headlights off. Since if you have a Haynes manual, don't even bother. There is like no information in it. It's horrible really, but anywho, before we start you are going to need some special tools. You need the snap ring pliers with the 90-degree angle adapter. You'll need this little tool right here. This is a homemade tool. I'll show you how to make that and get to it. First thing you gotta do is remove those two screws to get this off. This thing actually has this light and this light bolted to it, so they have to come out with this molding. So you gotta take those two screws out to get the top molding. Then down there, there's this little recess right here, and in there, there's a stud from the back of the turn signal light. You need an 11mm wrench to get that off. Now on the other side, you can see it, right in there is another one. They both go that way. So you need an 11mm wrench, get those off. Not a whole lot of space in there. You just want to loosen it up a bit until you can get in there with your hand. Just grip the socket by hand, turn it by hand until it's off. To get to the right side bolt for the lower marker lamp so you can get this bezel off, you can get in there with just a wrench and get it undone, but there's almost no space to work in there. So the best bet is to just remove the radiator coolant and windshield washer fluid reserver. And you just unbolt this bolt, swivel it out a little bit. You're going to disconnect the windshield washer tube and disconnect the pump motor. And then you got plenty of room to work in there, and I'm just using 2 extensions and a deep socket to get right in there, and that's working just fine. That'll give us plenty of room to work. Took the nuts off the turn lamps and took the screws off the bezel. It should just pop right out now. You have to wiggle it around a little bit. And there's you have to disconnect these turn lamps. There should be enough slack right in there. It's these 2 wires that connect to the turn lamps. Then you got the turn signal wire there. This one's being a little stubborn. There we go. So it just pulls right out of there. You gotta take these out. Just turn them. And pull right out. There's the park lamp, and there's the turn signal lamp, I think. I don't really remember which of these are turn signals and which aren't. Okay, now we gotta get the turn signal lamp, the main one. We got that out, and now there's the whole headlight bezel. And now we'll concentrate on getting the headlight out. So, ready to take the headlight off. There's some clips you gotta get to. You just pull this back. It's a little air dam, you gotta pull this back. Don't worry about it, it doesn't have any bolts or anything. You can pull the whole thing off, or you can just leave part of it there. I'm gonna pull the whole thing off so you can see better. And we're gonna get this little clip out, and that's what you're gonna need the snap ring pliers or the tools for, and this little homemade tool. So I'll show you how to make those. See what this tool does, you see that little hole right there. I'll put it through you just bend this into this shape, a little hook shape with some pliers, and put it in there so you can pull on it. We'll have to get the snap ring pliers and a screwdriver set up to get that out. Okay, first step to getting this out, you want to take a little small flathead screwdriver. You want to take a hammer and you want to just tap it into here so that when you pull it, it goes above that little bump. So we'll do that now. Should be good right there. Now we'll put the homemade tool in. Now we take our snap ring pliers, and there's these little tangs right here. I'll show you them when I get the thing out. But you want to put the snap ring pliers so that they're right just inside those tangs. You want to spread them out with the snap ring pliers and just give it a good pull with the homemade tool. And there we go. Get this off the tripod. So here's that little clip we just got out. See, it's got these little tangs on it. If you have big enough snap ring pliers, you can put the pliers into these holes and pull it outward, but I don't have those ones big enough. And also this way provides more leverage. You just stick them right in there. This is what you're basically trying to do. You stick them just like that in there, and you expand them. You see how they expand? Now allow it to pull out of the little holder in there. And when you're expanding them, you want to be pulling on this little tab at the top to pull it out. But you gotta have the screwdriver in there, otherwise it won't clear this little lock bump thingy right in there. There's 3 of those little lock things. There's one right there. There's another one right in there. And there's one way down in there. Now, I recommend just pulling these 2 out. If you really want to, you can try to pull the one out from back there, but there's almost no space. So I find the best method is going to be to just turn the adjuster until this adjuster screw comes all the way out, and then just pull it out like that. When you go to put it back in, you just readjust the vertical height. But doing it this way will not adjust the horizontal angle, just the vertical. So I'll get that one out, and then we'll pull the whole headlight out. For this one you have to do the order a little differently. You want to put the snap ring pliers in first, because there's a little less room. Then we'll put the homemade tool into the loop, and we'll put the screwdriver in, and then just pull it all out like normal. Okay, I got the second clip out. Now, I'm not going to even try to get in the clip that's behind here, because there's just like no room at all. So I'm going to adjust this adjuster out, and then the whole screw will just pull out. To do that, we're going to have to turn this, I believe it's kind of clockwise, or I can't remember which way it goes, but okay, so you're gonna have to turn it clockwise. You're gonna need a 5/32" bolt. Now, just for the sake of time, I'm going to use an air ratchet to speed things up. Stop when that screw stops turning. Okay, now before you pull the whole headlight assembly out, now that we got it loose, you're going to want to take out the bulb. To do this, you just rotate this coupler this way, then pull it out, and you pull the whole bulb out. Now, the reason mine came out so easily is because it was stuck, so I broke it free a minute ago. So you may have to use a little force, but it just pulls straight out. You can tell by these little tabs that it just comes straight out, but you gotta rotate this coupler first. Okay, I got the bulb out, and I'll just pull the whole thing out. There you go. Now the adjusters will come out with it. The bottom you're gonna have to readjust it. That's the whole thing.